You ever wonder if there's some kind of hidden power that really influential people use? A way to get your boss to see things your way, or convince a friend, or even a total stranger? Well, it's not magic. It's actually a very real and, let's be honest, a very dark side of psychology. And today, we're going to pull back that curtain on 5 of the most powerful dark psychology tricks out there. Let's get into it.
Just take a second and really imagine it. What if you could actually guide anyone's decisions? Get them to agree with you, to join your side, and they wouldn't even really know it was happening. It's a pretty powerful thought, right? But you know what they say about great power. And that's exactly why we have to start with this. It's super important. The techniques we're about to go through are seriously potent. This whole explainer is for one reason: education. The goal here is to give you the knowledge to recognize these tricks, so you can see them coming and protect yourself from them, not to use them on other people. Seriously, please use this information wisely. All right, let's kick off our countdown at number 5, the illusion of choice. Oh, this one is a classic. It's all about making someone feel like they're in the driver's seat when really you've already picked the destination. So here's the secret. It plays on a really simple human truth. Nobody likes being told what to do, but we all love making our own choices. So this trick works by giving someone, say, 2 or 3 options, but here's the catch. Every single one of them leads to the outcome you wanted all along. They feel like they're in control, but you're the one pulling the strings. And check out how simple but how brilliant this shift is. Instead of a yes or no question like, want to go out, you frame it as a choice between 2 yes options. See what happened? The question isn't if you're going out anymore, it's where you're going. So how do you spot this and stop it? You have to consciously realize when your choices are being boxed in. Just take a step back and ask yourself, wait a minute, is there a third option here? And there almost always is. In this case, it's just saying, you know what, I'd actually rather stay in tonight. Boom, you've just put the no back on the table. Okay, let's climb to our next trick, number 4. This one is called the yes letter. Look, if you need to ask for something big, going for it directly is usually a one-way ticket to getting shot down. Instead, you build a foundation of yes. You know why this is so effective? It hacks our brain's desire to be consistent. Once we get into a pattern of saying yes, it feels kind of wrong to suddenly stop. Each little yes builds this momentum so that when you finally ask the big question, another yes just feels like the obvious next step. And this is just a perfect illustration of how it works in the real world. By the time you get to that final huge request, your boss has already agreed to help you out multiple times. The way to counter this is you have to judge each request on its own, not based on what you said before. It is perfectly okay to break the pattern. Just pause, think about the big request, and don't let the momentum of all those little yeses make the decision for you. Okay, take a second and think about this one. Where have you seen this in your own life? I bet you have. Salespeople are absolute masters of the yes ladder. They'll ask you a bunch of small questions to get you nodding along. It's a beautiful car, isn't it? This safety feature would be great for your family, right? Long before they ever ask you to actually sign on the dotted line. Coming in at number 3, this is a technique that goes straight for our emotions. It's called the guilt trap. Because let's face it, people aren't always logical creatures, but we are always emotional. And guilt is one of the most powerful emotional levers there is. This works because of something called reciprocity. We are hardwired with this deep need to repay favors and debts. So by reminding someone of something nice you did for them in the past, you create this feeling of obligation, which makes it incredibly difficult for them to say no to what you're asking for now. See, the request isn't just, can I borrow your car? It's wrapped up in this heavy blanket of past favors. The defense here is to separate the past from the present out loud. You can say something like, man, I really do appreciate you helping me out last time. Thank you for that. Unfortunately, I just can't lend out the car this weekend. You acknowledge the old favor, which totally diffuses the guilt, but you still make your decision based on right now. All right, now for a really dark one. At number 2, we have false memory planting. This trick goes after a fundamental weakness in all of our minds. Our memories are not perfect recordings. They're not like a video camera. They can be changed, they can be influenced, and they are surprisingly easy to manipulate. And here's the scary part. If a lie is told with enough confidence, with enough detail, and it's repeated over and over and over again, our brains can actually start to get confused. It struggles to tell the difference between the lie and a real memory.
Eventually, your brain might just fill in the gaps and accept that false information as something that actually happened.
You see this used all the time in propaganda and politics. So defending against it requires you to be an active, critical thinker. Don't ever let someone's confidence or how many times they say something be a substitute for actual proof. The second you hear a bold claim on repeat, that should be your trigger to ask, okay, but where's the evidence? Go find other sources and check the facts for yourself.
And now, we've arrived at the #1 most powerful dark psychology trick of them all. And you might be thinking it's some kind of complex, clever verbal judo, but it's the exact opposite. It is the power of silence. Because true control isn't about what you say, it's almost always about what you don't. So why is this so powerful? It's because we humans are basically programs to hate awkward silence. It creates this vacuum, this social pressure that feels unbearable. And when you just stay quiet, the other person feels this overwhelming need to fill that void. And in their rush to just say something, they often reveal what they're really thinking, they give up valuable information, or they just cave into your position. Just look at this comparison. A direct question like, "Did you steal?" is easy. It invites a simple no. But a confident statement like, "I know everything," followed by nothing but pure deafening silence, that's terrifying. The other person's mind will start racing, wondering what you could possibly know, and they will almost always start talking to defend themselves, and that's usually when they confess. So the best defense is actually pretty simple. You have to get comfortable with silence yourself. Don't be the one who rushes to fill the void. Just let it hang there in the air. You can even flip it back on them by calmly asking, "Was there something you wanted to add?" That puts all the pressure right back on them. You have to remember, real power doesn't always shout. Most of the time, it just listens and it waits. So, there you have it, 5 incredibly powerful techniques, from the sneaky little illusion of choice all the way up to the profound power of silence. You now have a better idea of how they work, and more importantly, you have the awareness to see them coming and to defend yourself against them. Which brings us to our final and maybe the most important question of all. Understanding these tricks, it gives you a type of power. But when does being influential cross over into being manipulative? Where exactly is that line? That's something you have to think about, not just in how people might try to use these on you, but in how you choose to communicate with everyone around you. Use this knowledge to be more aware, not to take advantage.